A happy Christmas to everyone watching. Welcome to the Week 16 recap of the NFL. 2 weeks left to go, and I don't know about you, Tom, but I got myself four presents this past Christmas based off this week.
What?
I
You were
asked
doing
you,
the intro.
yeah, and I asked you a question.
Oh, I thought it was rhetorical.
No,
No, there were quite a few presents. There's being
well,
right is my biggest present.
so we're gonna open our gifts in just a moment. Talk a little bit about the other games. Talk about these last two games of the regular season, and in just a moment, we'll have our first special guest.
What?
Yeah, I surprised you with this one. Welcome,
We are?
welcome to week 16. I'm your host, Mark. This is Tom. Let's begin.
Who the fuck's the special guest?
Yeah, you'll see. I'm gonna turn my camera off so that way, like, you don't see me like having to move everything so that they can come in.
Who is
But
it?
dude, you'll see. I'm gonna go get him.
Is
By
it
the way,
Poppy?
by the way, he correctly not only did he call the Dolphins and Eagles victories this week, he
You're talking about me.
correctly he correctly called the spread. He correctly called the spread.
You're talking about me.
No, not
I'm
you.
the special guest.
No. No, I'll be right
Huh.
back. I got him.
Oh, Jesus.
Here we come.
Oh, you stupid asshole.
So Marla, you want to tell Tom how you correctly called the scores in the Dolphins and Eagles game? So well that you got yourself a treat for both games.
Mark, I'm cutting this garbage. This is such a waste of my time. I thought it was going to be Poppy.
But
You little bastard.
in all seriousness, folks.
All right, well,
Man,
hold on. I'm gonna do some cuts here so that it isn't just a gap of nothing. So start now.
in all seriousness, though, folks, let's talk about our first gift this week. Dallas in Miami.
Yeah. Were they actually even in Miami? I feel like half the team didn't show up.
Honestly,
Like I'm not sure if
fooled
the
me.
Cowboys were in Miami this week.
They could have fooled me.
Are they still them boys?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it seems to me like they're not even leading their division anymore. It doesn't seem like them boys to me.
No. And you know what? Without
Stupid ass fucking Cowboys.
without Jalen Phillips this weekend, Dolphins defense came up big. Andrew Van Ginkel,
I love Van Ginkel.
Jalen Ramsey showing up. Bradley Chubb. Oh my god. The Dolphins defense this week was immaculate. I loved every
Yeah.
second of it. And let's talk a little bit about that. You're gonna fumble. You drive for 73 yards, Dallas, and then you fumble at the what was it, the 1 yard line?
Yeah, something. It was really bad. And it was totally a fumble that shouldn't have happened either.
Yeah.
It was Pollard that fumbled it, right? Was it Pollard?
According to ESPN, blame is assigned to Prescott.
Oh, he just did the handoff poorly. Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I watched that play live. That was like rookie baby 5-10 team shit.
And then you know what? The Dolphins offense, they came out slow off that fumble. They drove for 59 yards. but only getting a field goal out of it. And then Dallas comes back out of the gate punching 3 plays with plays to a touchdown, and then Miami still slow going in going into the second quarter with only with with another field goal down by 1, but still.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I will say though, where the fuck was the Dolphins all-star offense that's supposed to exist in this game?
Yeah, no,
What the fuck happened on offense? A single touchdown pass? What
yeah,
is
this
going on?
I as much as I'm
And the
praising the
touchdown pass was a
defense,
screen to the running back. Just throwing that out there.
no, I know. And as much as I'm praising the defense, I do have to agree. The offense wasn't really showing up. They weren't doing
They
terrible,
weren't god awful.
but you can't be playing a team like Dallas and driving down the field to end with field goals.
Yeah,
You
I'm
ended
actually gonna chalk this one up to play calling by their coaching staff.
you got 5 field goals this game. Yeah, and you won by 2. You can't you can't do that against Dallas, and you can't do that in the playoffs.
You just
Now,
can't do that. Period.
d- sure.
Yeah, he had a 65% completion rate. I'm gonna blame the coaches for poor play calling. I feel like if you have a 65% or higher, you can't receive blame as a quarterback.
mm,
It just means that the plan was shit.
though I do have to say the last Dolphins drive, I think McDaniel's handled the clock wonderfully.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's the expectation, though. See, that's the thing. He did do a really good job at handling the clock. But if my coach can't handle the clock, I don't want them to be my coach. That's like the
Mhm.
bare minimum. That's not
Yeah,
icing on the cake. That's not you're a really good coach. That's you managed to achieve the absolute minimum of expectations, you scrub. Congrats.
so all I can
Yeehaw.
say all I can say for Miami, uh, all right, it's time to lock in. You're going to Baltimore next week, and then you host the
That's
Bills.
they're
Lock
gonna lose to
in,
Baltimore.
most likely, but
They're gonna lose to Baltimore and then they're gonna beat the Ravens or
the Bills.
the Bills.
Yeah, lock in. You will go to the championship, and
No,
who's going to knock them out of the championship?
the Ravens.
The AFC champion.
Yeah, the Ravens.
You think? Do you think Miami's going to lose in the divisional round?
No, I said they're gonna lose to the Ravens.
I said going to the championship, not winning.
They don't get a bye week. They have to play 3 rounds of playoff games. The
All right,
Ravens are gonna
moving.
win the AFC.
All right, moving on. Tom.
Yeah. So I actually kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about that Dolphins Cowboys game. Dallas
Oh,
sucks.
no.
Um,
Okay, okay, good, good.
so something that just really confuses me is how everybody sucks Tony Pollard's dick every single day of every single week because there's a lot of Cowboys fans, whatever. They do have the biggest fan base, so I understand that media outlets want to talk about them positively because then they get more clicks on their content. And that's the only reason that anybody ever talks about the Cowboys because they certainly aren't good. Um, but the fact that they suck Tony Pollard's cock like he's a really good running back or something like that, and then with the second they're pitted up against the Miami Dolphins, who, let's just be completely honest with each other here, had an off game against the Cowboys this past week. This isn't the Dolphins team that we normally see. They weren't even as good as they normally are.
Mm,
And they still curb stomped the Cowboys in the face, specifically Tony Pollard, who had 12 carries for only 38 yards.
yeah,
That's like slightly more than 3 yards a carry, right?
yeah. The average is 3.2.
Yeah, that's just you can't have that. You need to blow off at least one big run every game, every week in order for you to be a star running back. And then CeeDee Lamb is just the biggest fraud I've ever seen in my entire life of a wide receiver. Like the fact that he's the number one on the Cowboys and people are acting like he's some monster wide receiver, he just isn't. Like even the Eagles in the game where they got totally, totally fucking stomped by the Cowboys. Here, hold on. 2 weeks ago, the Cowboys played the Eagles, and CeeDee Lamb had 71 yards receiving. He's not some great wide receiver. He's not some super freak. He's all right. On almost any other team that is going to the playoffs, he would be the number 2 receiver. On almost any other team. On the Dolphins, he'd be the number 3 receiver. I would take Waddle and Hill over CeeDee Lamb literally any single day of the week. So I'm getting kind of tired of hearing how great the Cowboys are when they're really not. Though I do have to say, I think Dak Prescott is good. I think people don't give him enough credit. He's not shit. He isn't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, I wish he was on any other team if he was going to be not shit. But he's not, and people need to stop pushing this narrative that Dak Prescott is shit, because he isn't. He's not shit. Another thing that I thought showed up really big in this game was Tua's fast release. Him being able to get rid of the ball the second it touches his fingertips was instrumental to shutting down the Cowboys defense because they've never played against a quarterback who actually can release it in the blink of an eye. I think Tua, ironically, since he is playing for the Dolphins, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Dan Marino in the way that he releases the ball. And that is the highest of compliments I can possibly give to a quarterback. He has the fastest release ever. So, yeah, I think that's enough on the Cowboys Dolphins. Honestly, overall, a pretty boring game. It was a nail biter, but that's only because both teams' offenses were playing like dog shit. So, you know how it is. So now let's talk about the most exciting game of the week. The Panthers-Packers. I'm just kidding. No one cares about the Panthers.
Hey, that was exciting.
Don't even get me started.
They almost won.
No, what's more exciting than that though is that the Jets almost blew a 30-0 lead to the Commanders. That was just pathetic. That was absurd.
The legacy of Zach Wilson is going to tank by this season.
This wasn't Zach Wilson. This was Trevor Siemian.
I know. I'm saying that.
He's gonna be fucked.
I don't think he's going to be fucked. I'm just.
And I was wrong. They had a 27-0 lead at one point.
I just think that.
And then the Commanders came back.
As the years pass, everybody's going to be like, his starting season with the Jets kind of all over the place.
Well, this isn't even his starting season. He's not a rookie.
With the Jets or
he's just not a rookie, period.
I meant with the Jets.
Yeah, they drafted him.
Oh. So they just
no, he's not new at all. This is like his third year. Yeah, this is his third year. He was drafted in the first round by the Jets.
Yeah.
Or sorry, this is his second year. He was drafted in 2021. But yeah, Yep. He was the second pick in the draft overall.
Gosh.
By the Jets. So, Yeah, there's no legacy to be had. He's like a brand new guy. That's why I talk about how pissed off I am all the time that they keep mistreating him like this. Just trade him to another team and let him be a starter for the Browns. Just let him go. Free Wilson. Free Willie.
Free Zach Wilson.
Hashtag free Zach Wilson. He's stuck there. It's a shame, really, because I think he does have the tools where if he were to get a coach that actually wanted to teach him something, he would be able to do it. But Robert Saleh, he's such an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But no, in all seriousness, I'm not talking about either of these dog water games on these dog water teams that fucking suck and aren't going anywhere because they're shit. Let's talk about the Eagles Giants.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Patriots Broncos.
Yeah. Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's fail.
Let's slide. Anyway, the Eagles can only play on one side of the ball per game. It's official. You either get a game where the offense shows up or you get a game where the defense shows up. You are not allowed to have both. It is patently impermissible. Or you can get neither. That happens sometimes too. But you never know what you're going to get until you open a box of chocolates. But 33 points, the offense played well. Jalen Hurts had 301 passing yards. He had 34 rushing yards, so he had 335 total yards of offense that he generated himself. He had a 63% completion rate. He did throw one interception, but he also threw a touchdown. They kind of tightened up the bootstraps and got this game done. Good ass game.
Yeah.
The score was 20-3 going into the half. And then before you knew it, they were caught up. 15 points in the third quarter for the Giants. That was pretty miserable.
15 unanswered.
Yeah, sure. Miserable. And the thing that we really need to talk about here, I think, is one, the Eagles defense just didn't show up to this game, and I demand to know why. Because quite frankly, they're playing a 5-10 Giants team. They aren't good. Why is the defense not hitting the quarterback every play? What is happening? Why? One sack in this game.
Yeah.
You want to explain that to me? How does that make any sense at all? But I will tell you, something that does give me some amount of positivity and hope for the Eagles is that their offense in this game was fantastic. It was everything that I've been asking for in the Eagles offense all season. They had play action. They had running plays. They had A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert over the middle. They had every single thing that I have been talking about since week 1. They've had it all.
Mm-hmm.
They did everything. They executed it flawlessly. And it worked. I mean, 465 yards of offense is not something to laugh at.
No, it's not.
And a 6.3 yards per play average? That's insane. They only needed to do one push in this entire game.
I remember my dad and I were watching it, and the tush push came up, and he's like, "Oh my god, I hate this play."
Why? Why does everybody hate it so much? I don't get it.
And I just started, and I imitated your dad. I'm like, "Yeah, it's an ugly play, but I fucking love it."
Oh Jesus! I just don't understand why do people hate it so much?
Because we're the best at it. That's why.
I know, like I don't get it, and I'm tired of hearing that it's ugly football. It's just dumb. Like who cares? What do you mean? Just stop them. Like my problem with people saying that the tush push is lame is that nobody would even give a fuck if they handed it off to the running back and then everyone pushed him over the line anyway. No one would care. The only reason that people are upset about it is because it's Jalen Hurts being thrown over the pile. That's the
Yeah.
only reason anyone gives a flying fuck about the tush push. If you want to stop it, go lift heavier weights. Be stronger. Dude, I don't know what they're gonna do to. They're trying to make it a penalty or make it illegal to do the tush push. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I think they're either gonna do they're gonna make it so that you can't push people from behind, which would make the game fucking miserable. Or they're going to make it so that the quarterback has to hold it for a certain amount of time before he's allowed to run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do that, quarterbacks are gonna get fucking crunched. Like, dude, if they make that a rule change, you better expect that quarterbacks are going to be fucking injured left and right. Like, if they do this, having a backup quarterback that's good will just become a part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, backup quarterbacks are going to ask for 50% more pay because they're going to be like a dual starter situation. Do you know who would really benefit from this rule change a lot?
Who?
The Saints. Because they always have Taysom Hill on the roster. Why? No one knows. But he's there, and they could really make that work for them faster than any other team could. But another thing that I wanted to talk about, and probably the biggest highlight that we need to talk about from the New York Giants-Eagles game, is that they benched Tommy DeVito halfway through the game.
Yeah. What was with that? Like,
I don't know. Because it's not like he was executing at a really low level or anything like that. He was doing fine.
I mean, I guess it worked for them. They did just start coming back.
Yeah, it worked for him so well that Tyrod Taylor came out and threw an interception.
Yeah.
Like, let me make this very clear. Tommy DeVito had a higher completion percentage than Tyrod Taylor did, and they were given the exact same amount of passing attempts. Both of them threw 16 times. Tommy DeVito had 9 completions. Tyrod Taylor had 7 completions. Sure, Tyrod's were way longer, but that's a play calling difference, not a quarterback difference. Like, if you don't call the deep plays for Tommy DeVito, obviously he's not going to throw them. He's Italian. Give him the ball.
Pizza by Zap.
I love that guy. Just please let him go play for the Jets so that I can root for him.
It's really
please.
It's really unfortunate to get to see him do this at all.
No, that's very fortunate. I'm glad we didn't see that. If he had come out and started doing this all over the place, we'd have had some issues in Lincoln Financial Field. Some people would have gotten shot. A few emus would have been released from the zoo. Some elephants on the run. Fires rampaging through the city.
I wanna make something of note. Braden Covey. Man, did he pull off some great runs there at the beginning.
Yeah, he showed me some stuff, and I don't know why in the fuck he hasn't been used more throughout the season, because he executed every chance that he got. He did a great job. Also, Olamide Zacchaeus, that motherfucker better get cut.
At first, I was also on the.
I know it looked like he got pushed into the guy. I know.
It didn't look like he got pushed. He was pushed.
No, you can get pushed and not turn around and smack the ball out of the guy's hands. He literally took his hands and went. Yeah. I don't care. Just fall flat on the ground if he pushes you over. Let the guy step on your neck. I don't care. You can't turn around and run into your own guy and bounce off of him in the air like that and push the football out of his hands. That's just fucking stupid.
There, he cut his.
Cut him. Nah, don't cut him. He's not that bad. And he had a touchdown pass this season. Dude, I swear to God, the Eagles are just like, oh, this guy had a touchdown pass 4 years ago. Let's keep him. He's
God.
good. He was good for us 7 years ago. It's just, I hate this. Dude,
Yeah,
do you know how many people got receiving yards in this game?
for the Eagles,
Yeah,
um, 8 people.
8.
Yeah.
Well, 7 of them had completions, but there were 8 wide receivers that took the field.
No, well,
That's just dumb. Why? Just, dude, Marcus, listen to me. Listen to me. I am telling you.
weren't all wide
Just
receivers.
just throw the ball over the middle of the field, 10 to 15 yards to AJ Brown every single play until they stop it. Every single play.
Why not? Why not also mix it up with Dallas?
No. Every single play.
Oh,
And then when they stop it, then you throw it to Dallas Goedert over the middle every single play.
God, Joe.
Every single play. Why is it that the Eagles offensive coordinator sees, oh man, this play over the middle, it's working so well. Play action, throw it over the middle to AJ Brown. It's working so well. We're gaining 20 plus yards every single time he throws that pass. We can't do that anymore. You know what? As a matter of fact, let's draw up a designed QB sneak instead. You know, I will say, though, in this game, they really dialed back on the QB sneaks. I was very happy about that.
I was happy about that. I wish they'd do a couple fewer screen fell.
The screens were fine. See, here's the important thing that they did different this week that they never do any other week. They mixed it up a little bit. They had some amount of creativity in their offense. Like, they threw it over the middle to AJ Brown more than once. Do you know what was crazy? Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown in the center of the field for 10 plus yards was a 100% completion rate. Let's not do that anymore. It's just dumb. It makes no sense. Like, let me be real with you. If I was handed the playbook, okay, and told, Tom, you're the offensive coordinator of the Eagles right now, I could do a better job than Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
Confident in that. And do you know why? Because I'll actually read the statistics and listen to what my team is saying to me and actually execute a plan instead of just literally playing Madden. He literally plays Madden.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Also, by the way, Shaq Leonard.
Yeah.
Great pickup by the Eagles.
He's been impactful in these past 2 games.
Yeah, he was our top tackler in this game, and he had the only sack. And he had last week against the Seahawks. Let me see. He had 4 tackle appearances. So his tackle participation has been really high. Though I won't judge him too much based off of the Seahawks game because it was literally his first week in the defense. He had like 2 days to prepare or something, or like 4 days to prepare. So, you know how that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, my commentary isn't too extensive on the Eagles' win over the Giants because, quite frankly, the Giants suck. This isn't a particularly good test of how good the Eagles are. However, I will tell you what is a really good test of how good the Eagles are. They beat the Dolphins, they beat the Cowboys, they beat the Chiefs, they beat the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good test of where the Eagles stand. I mean, yeah, they did lose to the Cowboys the second time, but whatever. It's not really all that big of a deal. Um, the only one that really kills me is the 49ers loss. I
Yeah.
just can't. But yeah, and another thing, I'm very happy that the next Eagles game is actually at 1:00 on a Sunday. I didn't know that was possible. Primetime needs to be made illegal after a certain number of times in the season. Like, it should be like Thursday night games. You can only have so many Thursday night games in a season. You can only have so many international games in a season. Primetime games, they need to make it so that everybody can only have one. Because, dude, like, you get one Monday night, one Sunday night. And that's it. And maybe a Thursday. I just can't anymore. I can't with this fucking primetime shit. Every game, man. The Eagles have had 3 games at 1:00 this season. It's really fucked up my football schedule. But yeah. So is there anything else that you have to say about the Eagles?
It's the same message to Miami. Lock in. You have an easier schedule. Yeah. All right. Can we get both the offense and defense to play a complete game?
No, you can't. It's just not possible because Sirianni can only coach one side at a time. I'm telling you. All right, I'm not done with the Eagles, actually. I'm telling you, somebody else called the fucking plays in this game. It was not the same guy. It is stylistically different. It is strategically different. It is different in all possible aspects. Who was calling the plays, and why weren't they already calling plays? What I think happened is behind the scenes, they pretty much Sirianni had to come to a decision because he realized he could only do all of the play calling for either defense or offense, and since he's more of an offense guy himself, he chose to quiet fire Sean Desai and put Matt Patricia there so that he could quiet fire Brian Johnson and take over the offensive play calling himself. That's what I think happened. And I think they're not being public about it because they don't want Brian Johnson to get all pissed off because he is Jalen Hurts' personal quarterback's coach. And Jalen Hurts really loves him. So I think that they're trying not to cause a drama situation between Jalen Hurts and the team going into the postseason. So I think what you might see is in the offseason, they might drop him like it's hot. Like they might just throw him right on his face. Kick him on his ass. Honestly, no, you know what they should do? They should make him Jalen Hurts' quarterback's coach again. Because he played real fucking well when he was the quarterback's coach. But maybe that wasn't because of his coaching more that it was Shane Steichen's play calling.
The world may never know.
I think we'll know when we see Indianapolis get to the playoffs next year. All right. Time for the most important game for us to talk about of the week, like from a national scale. I'm pretty sure this game was more important to people than the Eagles game was. But let's talk about the Baltimore and 49ers game. Or 49ers, sorry.
Mm.
So Lamar Jackson had himself a feast in this game. He tore them apart.
Oh man, he was good.
He's a great quarterback, man. He's awesome. I always something that here, this is gonna sound really familiar to you, Mark. So in Lamar Jackson's first 3 seasons, the big criticism of him was he's a running quarterback. He can't throw the ball. Oh my God, look at how much he runs. He can't throw the ball. He's not a good quarterback. He only runs the ball. Why isn't he a running back? Sound familiar?
Yeah.
And look at my boy now. I stuck up for Lamar Jackson all these years, except for saying that I think he gets injured every year and he's a big baby about his contract, and that should have been dealt with in a week, not 6 months. But um he can play some football. He's a great quarterback. I don't know where all the hate for Lamar Jackson comes from. People think he's a scrub, and I just don't get it.
Yeah. The the way the Ravens were playing last night. Oh God.
And what Mark, I want you to tell me, last week when we were talking about the Ravens, what did I say about the Ravens?
No, I don't fucking remember.
Let me turn back to my notes here really quick. Let's see. I literally wrote the Ravens are him. And I believe I talked about how the Ravens are the number one ranked team in football, according to me, because they are by far the most complete team. And
Yeah.
again, just for reference, when I say that, I mean that they have depth at every single position. They have play calling from all of their coaches. They don't have anybody who's like, oh, I'd take them over literally any other person on the entire football, in the entire football league. They don't have that. But everybody that they do have plays at a top 10 level. They're the most complete team.
Yeah.
And after this win over the 49ers, please somebody argue with me about it. Have fun. Because I'm going to rip you a new asshole.
3 sacks on Purdy, 4 interceptions on Purdy.
I think they finally exposed Purdy for who he really is in this game.
Lamar Jackson throwing for 252 yards.
Remember, he can't throw. He's only able to run.
Zay Flowers for 72 yards.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So if you guys would go to my stream and rewind time to when the draft was on, I was a huge proponent of Zay Flowers. I thought that he was literally what the Ravens needed to plug into their offense to make it go. And I was right. He is an easy, solid number one, and he's only a rookie. He's only going to get better from here.
Right.
He's a freak.
That was amazing football last night.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him.
And it kind of like
Dude, they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
It does make me worried.
They're gonna win the Super Bowl.
What if Jackson gets injured? Oh. Can't.
Listen to me.
Bro,
listen to me closely. All right, listen.
Yeah.
He's not going to get injured, and even if he does, the Ravens will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I actually think that Lamar's numbers are a result of the team rather than him being a superhero. And that's not supposed to be like a rude comment, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But I am trying to say that his team is so good around him that I almost feel like you could plug in anybody and get a similar effect. That's just how good I think the Ravens are.
Yeah, I mean
they're like world beater quality.
I mean, we just have to look at San Francisco. They're if anything, you could compare them that like, oh, everybody around Brock Purdy is amazing, but
but the difference is Brock Purdy sucks.
Yeah, he does, and they're just not good enough to plug and play Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I see the trap you're setting up for me there. I'm
not trying to set up no trap for you.
Oh, you were trying to agree with me. It sounded to me like you were telling me I was wrong. because you
No,
kind of convinced me I was now a little bit at least, because if it really was the case that Brock Purdy was so horrible and anybody could do it, then Sam Darnold would have been able to execute.
no.
But you're saying that everybody around Lamar is a superstar and everyone around Brock Purdy is mediocre.
At least to the point that if Purdy leaves, they can't do anything. They did.
I think the issue isn't that Brock Purdy is good. He has, oh God, I hate to say this, but he has like a Tom Brady effect on his
Yeah,
team. He's not talented. He
he
just
has.
he just takes a pay cut, has talent around him, and throws the ball where he's told to.
Yeah, except that he's not Tom Brady, so he's not as talented.
I don't really think Tom Brady was even that talented. He could never run very fast. He could never throw very far. But he did do exactly what he was told every single game. Now, he's kind of got a cannon. I'm not going to disrespect the GOAT like that. He is the best quarterback ever. There's no doubt about it. But I think that he's the best quarterback ever for his leadership qualities and leading by example, rather than being able to have a cannon attached to his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's the best lead by example player of all time, I think.
And can only hope that the 49ers continue their downward slide, because this
Dude, if the 49ers lose again next week, they're in big trouble.
This was their most no, the Bengals kind of put a train on, but with Brock Purdy and every single offensive weapon in, this has been the most complete ass whooping that San Francisco has received this.
Yeah, they didn't have many. They didn't have many injuries going into this game. Is what you mean?
Yeah,
and I agree with you.
So like, I'm seeing like this article on ESPN. Did the 49ers get exposed? I think so.
No, I don't. I don't think they actually got exposed. I think what you're going to see is very soon, you're going to start to see that they're going to buckle in. I think that, so this, you can run wild with this as much as you want all the way to the presses. They're going to beat the Commanders, and everybody's going to be shaking in their boots. But they're going to lose to the Rams in the last week of the season.
I believe in the Commanders. Let's go.
Nah, the Commanders are going to lose. It's all about the Rams.
Let's go, Ron Rivera.
Shut up. The Rams are going to do it. By then, the Rams will be 9-7.
I'll take.
They're a divisional opponent, so they're going to play hard. And then that's that. Dude, the fact that anybody in the NFC South, well, except the Panthers, could still take the division is fucking depressing. 8-7, 7-8, 7-8, 2-13.
Yeah.
The NFC South is such a cesspit that they're starting to consider changing the playoff rules simply so that they can kick out the NFC South player or teams from contention. And you know what? I'm not going to spare anybody. The AFC South sucks too. What is with these Southern teams? Any division with the word South and it just sucks dick.
I mean, the South
Jaguars are 8-7, the Colts are 8-7, the Texans are 8-7, and the Titans are 5-10.
Yeah, the South sucks.
The South is terrible. It's too hot down there. Them boys can't play. They had an orange Christmas.
Oh, fucking God.
I'm dreaming of a green Christmas.
So much. Oh, I hate you. Oh,
well, I mean, I wasn't trying to drive in the nail or nothing, but they're just terrible. I would be okay with them changing the playoff rules a little bit, but the problem with changing the playoff rules, I think, is that they should refrain. And the only reason I think they should refrain from changing the rules is because the NFC South and AFC South aren't going to be this bad forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eventually, and I'm hoping it's the Saints, are going to rise from their grave and become an actual competitor again. The problem is, the NFC South, and until this season, the AFC South, had a quarterback drought.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers had Tom Brady 2 years ago. The Falcons just... The Saints had Drew Brees, 5 years ago or something at this point. They just suck now. And the Panthers, I mean, they had Cam Newton, almost a decade ago at his prime. So they just have, the worst quarterback drought ever. And then in the AFC, they finally got Trevor Lawrence, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's the most overrated quarterback ever. And then you have the Colts. I guess they got Hutchinson. Hutchinson, I think his name is, right? Hutchinson? I think it's Hutchinson. AJ Hutchinson or Anthony Richardson. I couldn't remember his damn name. But he might be okay. Who knows? It's his first season. CJ Stroud's looking pretty fucking good, though. I think the Texans are going to be a juggernaut going into next season.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Titans have Ryan Tannehill, but they got Will Levis, the mayonnaise man. So we'll see what's going on there. But I think the drought will come to an end pretty soon. So I think it's better if they wait at least another season before trying to change the way that the playoffs work, because that's a rather large upheaval in the rules for something that's so temporary. It's like putting on a Band-Aid and then immediately ripping off even though you're still bleeding.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense at all. All right. So yeah, I'm going to reiterate. The Ravens are him. They are the best team in football. There's no questions about it. They are. Anybody who disagrees with that, I don't know what to tell you, man. You just don't have eyeballs. You must seriously have Aaron Rodgers' eyes in your skull if you think that the Ravens aren't the best team in football.
Mm-hmm.
It's bizarre. All right, so what are your games of the week next week, Marky? Because there's one that really jumps out at me.
Detroit, Dallas.
There's three. Yeah. Detroit and Dallas is my number one pick. I think that's the game of the week.
Yeah. Then right under it, I think Miami, Baltimore possess the AFC Championship preview.
The what? The Miami and the Baltimore, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my second choice. All right, so third. Do you know what my third is? Let's see if we all picked Did we pick the same games?
They're New York, Cleveland.
Oh, fuck no. Oh, Jesus. Ew.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, the Bengals Chiefs is going to be a good game. Both of those teams are fighting for playoff contention.
Oh, I didn't even see that they're playing each other.
Yeah, the Bengals Chiefs play. And dude, the primetime game is Packers Vikings, but who gives a shit? Like normally in any other season, in any other situation, Packers Vikings is just the best game of the week every single time. But right now, who gives a shit about either of those dog ass teams, fucking poop butt teams? They're bad, man. Yeah. 7-8 and 7-8. They're literally playing for a wild card spot. Whoever wins this game just gets a spot, I guess. The Battle of Shit Mountain.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if the Packers lose to the Vikings right now, they're still going to beat the Bears next week and then move on to the playoffs because the Vikings are going to get their asses beat by the Lions. Actually, the Lions might not even play. I'm not kidding. They might legitimately just not even play. Because if they beat the Cowboys, let's see, the Lions will be 12-4. Actually, The Lions are fighting for number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, they're in their contention.
Yeah, they are potentially in there. Wow, a 3-way tie for the NFC right now. That's cracked. Dude, if the 49ers lose another game and the Lions lose another game, I am going to squeal. Like, literally, next week it'll be sweet to start the podcast. Like, dude, I would nut everywhere. All right, so what are we doing now? What do you want to do? The playoff predictions? Who do you think's gonna win the NFC South, Marky?
The NFC South?
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably
I don't know, and I don't care.
Tampa. Like
Oh, I hope not.
Baker Mayfield's like the only quarterback.
I'm rooting for the Panthers to win the NFC South.
Uh-huh.
No, I want the Falcons to win the NFC South. Free my boys. Give them a playoff berth.
As far as wild card slots for the NFC,
Well, who do you think's gonna win the NFC East?
I think
Who?
we are.
Yeah, I think so too. We just have an
Like-
easier schedule.
Yeah.
At least from this point of the season on. I mean, we had the single hardest schedule in football to start the season.
No, absolutely.
And we still crushed it. I'm just throwing that out there.
San Francisco takes the West. Detroit.
Yeah, there's
takes
no
the
question
North.
there.
So I honestly think we might see two from the NFC West
I do too.
make it into the wild card. I think it's going to be Dallas Rams and Seahawks.
I think so too. I think that the Packers and Vikings are going to get fucked out of it.
Especially if the Rams get that win over the 49ers at the end of the season.
Well, if the Falcons get one more win, or if the Falcons just win out on the season, they'll get a wild card slot over the Vikings and Packers. But they wouldn't get one just because the Rams, Cowboys, and Seahawks are going to get one. I'm just saying they'd be placed above the Vikings and Packers. Dude, we're at the point now. So last week the Panthers won, right?
Mhm.
They were already eliminated from playoff contention. Why the fuck are they still playing? Get the number 1 pick, you stupid assholes. Oh, wait, hold on. No, they need to lose one more game to be guaranteed. No, they don't. They need to lose out in order to be guaranteed the first pick. They need to go 2-15.
Let's see. I think the AFC wild card slots are a little more
The
interesting.
AFC wild cards are a lot funner.
Yeah,
I think the Browns got it.
Yeah, and I think that Buffalo will also get it. Now the question is, who comes in as number 7?
I think the Bills are going to lose out.
You think they're going to lose to the Patriots?
They already did.
Oh, God, please no. Not in Foxborough, please.
Yeah, no, the Bills lost to the Patriots
Time mistake.
29-25. So I think the Bills are going to lose twice to finish off the season. And Miami is going to end the season a 13-win team. That being said, the Ravens are still taking the AFC. They're about to be a 14-win team. Poor Dolphins. Sorry, guys. They didn't make the cut. I actually think there's still time for the Raiders or Broncos to take the AFC West.
I think there's some time.
I would love to see the Chiefs lose the division.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been like 10 years of nothing but Chiefs.
I'd really like.
It's time for them to miss the playoffs.
really like to see Denver in there.
Fuck Denver. I don't care. I want the Raiders to be in there. It's been a long time, dude. Um, yeah, I mean the wild card is much harder for the AFC to call. I think in all likelihood, it's probably going to be Browns Bills, and then it's like a coin flip between the Texans and the Raiders.
Most likely.
But
Unless,
unfortunately for the Texans, they lost to the Colts, so the Colts would get it if they went out.
what if Joe Burrow comes back? Think that changes it at all?
No, the Bengals are done for. I mean, sure, they could win 2 more games, but like they're about to go play the Chiefs, and then they're about to go play the Browns. So they got pretty rough matchups going into the postseason here. I don't think the Bengals make the cut. And to be honest with you, even if they did win the next two, if the Steelers win the next two as well, the Steelers advance to the playoffs instead of them.
Yeah.
Like it would literally put the Bengals in worst place. That's so shit. I love the Bengals so much. Just please can you win a goddamn Super Bowl already? I love every team that has never won a Super Bowl. like let's put it like that. Like I want the Browns, I want the Bengals, I want the Jaguars, I want the Texans, I want the Titans, I want the Bills. I want the Saints.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, I think that's about. Oh, what are your power rankings? Who's the best team in the NFL?
Oh, come on. It's quite obvious.
It is.
Yeah. Broncos country. Let's. I'm gonna go ahead and just do my top 5. I'm gonna put Baltimore, Eagles, Miami, then probably do San Francisco. I don't know whether I want to put San Francisco at 4 or at 5, and then switch the Lions.
Dude, there's no way you think the Lions are better than the 49ers. Come on, dude. What's wrong with you? I hate them too, but use your brain.
Yeah, okay, fine. 49ers at 4, Detroit at 5.
Yeah. All right, well, unbiased. The Eagles are number 1.
Dallas can fucking suck cock.
Yeah, I don't even think Dallas is in the top 5 teams. I'm just they just aren't. I think it goes Ravens, Eagles, Dolphins, 49ers. The 5th one is the really tough one.
Yeah.
Lions. Pretty much the same as you, honestly.
Exactly the same.
Is it really exactly the same?
You put
Jesus.
Ravens at number 1, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Dude, if you don't put the Ravens as number 1, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I'm sorry. I love the Eagles and they're my team, but like, if you think that the Eagles are better than the Ravens right now, you're dumb.
Yeah.
The Ravens are on a fucking tear, dude. They have a 5-win streak right now. Against good teams. 49ers, Jags, Ravens, Bengals. They're on a tear, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's about all I got. Do you have anything else, Marky?
Nope.
All right, so I guess that is another successful completion of the Fumble Forecast. Remember to hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, Find us on any platform where you get your podcasts. And yeah, see you next week, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.